All right. Welcome to the movie review podcast on the DWJ BBF network. My name is Tankcramer. I am with Will.
What's up?
All right, man. So we both watched this week's box office, Mortal Kombat. But before we get into that, man, how was your weekend?
Weekend was great. Went to see Mortal Kombat in theater, so that was a nice change as opposed to being at home. Definitely got a different experience out of that. Same old at the house. What about you, man? What's new?
Yeah. No, I watched this at the house. Just big with the TV, super loud. It was comfortable on the couch, you know.
Dope.
But I had watched part of the Oscars last night. I don't know if you watched any of it. I just really cared about best actor, actress, and movie. Those are the ones I really care about. So I was not happy because Nomadland won best picture, which is, if you want to hear what me and like Alfredo thought about it, we did not like that movie. We did our podcast with all the best movies and super pissed off that it won because it was on the bottom of both of our lists. Like, we did not like that movie.
Damn.
You know, like literally any other movie. For me, that movie even should be on the Oscars. Like, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is better than it, and that's not even nominated. And One Night in Miami was better than it, and it wasn't even nominated. You know, and it won best picture and best actress, which even pissed me off more because Viola Davis was way better, and Carey Mulligan from Promising Young Woman.
Okay, they got robbed. That's
dude. And then people are pissed that Chadwick Boseman didn't win. He was good in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. He was really good, but Anthony Hopkins was on another level, man. If you haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend watching The Father. It is really, really good. Super, super sad, but so good. So good. So if you want something else to watch, The Father.
Okay.
The Father. It kind of puts stuff in perspective as you get older and you get like dementia and Alzheimer's and stuff like that. So it kind of like it's really an interesting movie. Really. I had no intention to ever see it, and it's like one of my favorite movies ever now. Like, seriously, like, it was that good. It was really, really well done. Anthony Hopkins blew it out of the water.
Did you go into watching The Father like knowing the plot, or did you go in blindly watching it?
Blindly. Me and Fredo just kind of with most of these movies, we kind of just read the quick synopsis, and it's just like, oh, old man, you know, living life with dementia. I'm like, oh, okay, that's gonna not be fun. But it took it to a whole nother level of just like, wow, like that's wow. It was really, really well done, man. I thought that should have won Best Picture. If not, Chicago 7, Judas Black Messiah. Those were really great too. But No Man Land. I was like, my mom said she couldn't even sit through the whole movie. She goes, it was so boring. She like got bored of it, fell asleep, and turned it off. You know, so like, I don't get it. I'm like, maybe we're not artsy fartsy enough.
I don't know. They didn't touch on the right heartstrings or something.
I guess. We got our first first review. Oli said, "Love the new MK."
Glad you
So
liked it. It was something
yeah,
different. It's
it
different from
was.
the older films for sure.
Oh, for sure, for sure, for sure. Thanks for the review, Oli. Um, yeah, you want to watch trailer before we
Before we
do
dive
anything?
in, yeah, let's
Before we
watch the
dive
trailer.
in,
Yeah.
let's see.
Keep in mind for the
Sure.
viewers, we want to let you know beforehand it's going to look a little off, just so we don't break any copyright claims. Okay,
Yeah,
so bear
and
with
and
us.
no sound, which I
No,
think shouldn't be
that's okay.
be too
We,
bad.
we can talk over it. We saw.
Yeah,
So we get a sneak peek of Jax, who looks like Steve Harvey.
he
He
does.
looks
I
like
didn't think
Steve
about
Harvey.
it. He did with the mustache.
That was a cool scene. Sub Zero versus Jax.
Yeah,
Man. And
yeah.
then we see the arm explode. That was something nice to
That,
see.
I don't remember that in the like now I'm seeing the trailer. I'm like, oh yeah, but I didn't remember when I was watching it. I'm like, how does he lose his arms? Because I mean, it's not a spoiler to know that Jax has metal arms. That's just if you've ever
Right.
played the game. But um, but yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting about it.
Right. Hmm.
Um, did you watch the 7 minutes that came out before the movie came out?
I did
The
watch
whole
that.
opening scene. Did you?
I did.
This was the opening scene.
Yeah, yeah, with
Them in
Hanzo Asashi. There was more in that opening 7 minutes than there was in the theatrical release. I think
was there?
I don't know if maybe it's just in my head, but I felt like when I watched it before the movie released, I felt like it was so long, like it was so zoomed in to
Hmm,
Scorpion's lore. I was like, cool. I was so drawn in, like yeah,
yeah,
let's get more of that going on. Instead, we got the latter of Cole Young, who's the main character.
yeah. Which I know it upset a lot of people. That they literally made a brand new character for Mortal Kombat for the movie when
Mhm.
Mortal Kombat has a couple dozen of characters and people.
So many
You
characters.
know, and I'm like, Liu Kang is the main character, is the main good guy, and he wasn't a nobody in this one.
He was a side character with barely any lines, barely
Yeah,
any
yeah,
dialogue, barely any impact. Like the only thing he
yeah,
really brought to the table is showing the squad of Earthrealm, where Raiden's temple was. That's it. That was his contribution a little bit.
yeah. I was kind of like in the video games. I don't know if you played the last video game. This was kind of good. The big final scene
Oh yeah,
between I feel like now like the trailers gave a lot of it away. The trailers gave a lot of it away.
it did. It did.
There's still some really cool parts though too, but like that was a really cool part, and you just like it's in the trailer.
There you go.
You know?
No need to yeah, right, to wait for the cool stuff. Oh, they just give it to you right away.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, I'm kind of bummed about that. Um,
Yeah.
but not too bad. But so yeah, like you said, it came out in movie theaters. So the box office domestically, 22.5 mil, which is not too bad. And then considering Demon Slayer also came out, which is like an anime. So a lot of people, anime is very kind of you either love it or you hate it kind of thing. And I think more people don't like it, even though I think the more younger generation definitely. I love anime, but
Right.
yeah, Demon Slayer made $19 million. That's insane. And so, yeah, thinking Mortal Kombat was going to have a crazy weekend for COVID. That's a really, really awesome weekend.
It is.
But Demon Slayer only a few mil right under it.
Mhm.
I'm sure that was a big thing. But yeah, but 22.5. I think you said it beat
It beat Kong versus Godzilla for opening box
domestically.
office weekend. Yeah, it did domestically.
Hmm.
That's something nice. I feel like a lot of the OG gamers definitely jumped on this film, whether they got it streaming wise or not. Like I think they really supported this one, not as much as I would have wanted it to. But then again, Mortal Kombat is in a way getting forgotten about. You don't see too many heads playing Mortal Kombat. Everyone's playing like a first person shooter, a third person shooter, or they're playing something else. I don't really see too many
Yeah.
people jumping on Mortal
The
Kombat.
story got boring and the fighting got boring. But I feel this last MK, was it 11 or 12, whatever number they're
Mhm.
on now,
Yeah,
was pretty good. It was pretty good. The story was really good. It kind of went back to like some of the good storytelling that kind of started. obviously number one and number two didn't have too much story. Number two actually started story because number one was just like, here's some guys beat each other up, you know.
Right.
But yeah,
I mean,
but no, this was definitely made for the kids from the '90s.
let's talk about that real quick. Do you know how Mortal Kombat started? Why the game was even a project to begin with? Do you know the story about that with John Claude Van Damme and
Oh
that whole
no,
jazz?
no,
Okay,
I
so
know it was made in Chicago.
yes, by
I
Midway
know
Games.
Midway Games at the time. Yeah,
So Mortal Kombat is not really it was like really random when it came out. Like, oh yeah, you got some fighters and whatnot, you got martial arts going on. But really, this game was meant to be a Jean Claude Van Damme video game based off of him. Johnny Cage is the model that Jean Claude Van Damme was supposed to be.
that makes so
So
much sense. Yeah,
so yeah, I mean, it started off like that. He was gonna be the main character, and there was gonna be other fighting characters, and then like they went back and forth with how they wanted to release the game, and at some point they just pulled out the Van Damme, agreements and all that. They got taken out, and they were like, well, we still have all this motion capture, equipment and this and that, and we're ready to make a game. So they just made a game, and
yeah.
that's how it came about. So thanks to Jean Claude Van Damme, we have what we have today, even though he wasn't even in the movie. That'd be cool though if he were to make an
I know.
appearance in the next film, little
Well,
cameo
then
or
he
something.
flipped ship. Then he made Street Fighter in the '90s. That crappy Street Fighter movie.
Yeah, he did. And yeah, I don't see any Street Fighter movies coming out, but those guys will
Did you ever
defend
see
that
the
game.
video
Hmm.
of the motion capture? This is
Oh,
like this is like from the original game. Like,
damn, that's Carlos Pesina. I know who that is, man.
like this is like super like cool stuff, man. You know,
It was literally
I
back
think that
then.
are
They
they
didn't
gonna
even.
show?
They just took pictures and they just kept them moving, and whatever
Yeah,
button
yeah,
you press, they'd use the actual picture of it wasn't digitally made. It was no, it was freaking
yeah. Like with
moving
that, like
pictures for a
that's
game.
100% Jean-Claude Van Damme right there doing the split. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
that, that
God,
was- that was his move at the time, right? In that one film he did.
yeah. God, that was so slow. That had to hurt so bad.
Right.
But
Fucking
yeah, it's just like
the
crazy.
guy,
It's
the
like,
guy who plays Johnny Cage right there, Carlos Pesina. He also
uh-huh.
plays Raiden in the original game too. He does a
Oh,
lot of
really?
characters. Yeah, he's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
yeah. Before we jump into the film, I gotta ask you. Who is your favorite Mortal Kombat person to pick if you ever do play the game?
Uh,
Who are you familiar with?
I mean, definitely Scorpion Sub Zero were always everyone's kind of go to guy. I really like Liu Kang. Liu Kang was pretty cool. The bicycle kick I thought always thought was cool, but
Oh hell yeah!
but yeah, Sub Zero and Scorpion were always my two favorite. But I think that's kind of everyone's favorite
Yeah, pretty
of the
much.
game. You know,
Uh,
man,
for
Johnny Cage was a big. What about you?
for me, my favorite is Scorpion. For a lot of reasons. One, that's like Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat. That's his favorite character, and not that I'm trying to copy him, but like when I found that out, that just made it more cooler for me that like the creator of the game likes the character that I like most.
Yeah,
He is pretty broken of a character. If you ever do use him in any of the games, he can teleport, he can leave you stunned with his spear move, and it's pretty broken.
yeah,
But for the most part, movie wise, I wish I had more Scorpion in the film.
yes, 100% more Scorpion.
Sub
It was
Zero was
kind of a
badass.
letdown. Sub
It
Zero
was,
was,
man.
yeah.
Sub Zero was okay. How'd you like the designs of the characters?
I liked them. I liked them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very more newer Mortal Kombat kind of style rather than the OG kind of cloths, blue and yellow kind of the thing.
True.
Um, it was I liked the Sub Zero. I think could have had a little bit more blue. Scorpions was dead on. I love Scorpions. His outfit was awesome, and
Hell
then
yeah.
everyone else was pretty kind of not too bad. Yeah. I think the biggest ones, Garo was all CGI, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Martin said, "Oh shit, all filmed." So that's why it was kind of glitchy movements. Yeah, it was all filmed, and they had to cut and splice everything together. It was really like at the time like state of the art with the blood, with all the
Oh,
controversy the
hmm,
game had, you know.
that's
So
true.
yeah, and then I love the new Liu Kang. I
He
did
was
too.
scrawny. He was scrawny for my taste. A little
What?
bit.
You didn't see that movie where he takes off his shirt and he flexes? Dude, his muscles got muscles. It was
Okay.
insane. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, that is that fake? Dude, he's sitting there, he's like, "Yeah, dude, this thing, and it's just all like, I'm like, holy
Like a
shit.
transformer.
I got that was insane. I was not expecting that. I was like, what? What? Because that dude was like 0% body fat.
Oh, true. True. Like zero.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I wish he was more bulkier, man. Like compared to, I know
Yeah.
I don't want to compare too much to the older films, but the Liu Kang from the first OG films, he was swole looking. He made you believe that he was like the chosen one type shit, you know. And then you look
Yeah.
at Cole Young, right, main character in this film. He also didn't give me any wow factors. But then again,
Mm.
his hero journey in this film, I guess, makes him like that. He makes him a person that doesn't think that they believe in themselves, and then he finds out some, past lore about himself that makes him stronger, and then he gets stronger. Like I don't
I,
know.
I gotta admit, let me see, I'm gonna find this damn picture of this dude. I gotta admit though, I was disappointed that they made Liu Kang very I don't want to say lame because he wasn't lame.
No,
Just because he was to me he wasn't scrawny. I mean that
no,
man was fit. Holy shit, he's the Black Ranger. Yeah, basically, I did not
was
like Cole. I did not like Cole.
no,
I get why they did it, but it was also they could have done better ways to do it because he was just there to bring Scorpion in. You
really,
know,
yeah.
it-
I I almost thought that I really thought for a second that Cole was gonna like summon Scorpion's like spirit or something, and then like he was gonna turn into
he
Scorpion.
that's what I was thinking too.
I thought he was gonna do something like that, and he would bring out the spear. He even had the spear. I don't know how he got that spear. I kind of forgot how he had like
Raiden gave it to him.
oh, rating. Oh, there you go. Like he had the spear and everything. I was thinking like, oh, is he gonna do the move? Pull out the spear, get over here. That would have been a cool moment. It would have been cheesy. It would have been, everyone would have saw it coming, but it would have been a nice moment. But no, he's just completely like a descendant, and he ain't shit. He's like a half-assed MMA fighter that taps
Yeah.
out. You know, when he fights. I don't know, man. I didn't like him too much. The storyline, right? Let's get down to the storyline a little bit. Um, Pretty much starts off Scorpion, right? Hanzo Asashi, human form. His family gets killed
Wait,
by.
hold on. So this
Oh
is
yeah,
this is Liu Kang. You're telling me, look at that dude, man. It's just like I was like, what?
but
I was
but
like,
okay,
what?
okay. So he's cut up, right? Oh, okay, there you go.
Holy shit, dude,
But
he's
it's the
fucking
angles.
jacked.
I can give you jacked if you want me to do some of that, dog.
I mean, dude, that's like I don't know. I gotta say that was
So the costuming was pretty dope. Yeah, he looks
yeah.
swollen.
Liu Kang's pretty simple though. I mean, he's not armored up or anything crazy.
Right,
Cao Long. What's the other guy's name? The guy with the hat.
Kung Lao.
Kung Lao. He was
He he was
he was
the star, in my opinion, man. His whole like, you actually kind of saw his character a little bit when he was treating the fuck out of Kano at dinner time. He's like, "Man, you're a pig. Like you ain't shit. I'm here to save your ass." Like he had this whole
yeah.
demeanor where he had this attitude, and I was like, "Damn, where is that coming from? I never seen Kung Lao be acting like that."
I
He
know.
he was showing off some main character vibes in that scene, especially.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I'm the savior of it all," and I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, you're badass, but like, even Liu Kang is like, you should be, begging him, you should be thanking him, and kind of thing."
Oh,
I was like,
that was a
"Dude,
bit much,
you're the dude, not him,"
right?
But is always said, "I want to see the Miz play Johnny Cage."
He has potential. He can play Johnny
I
Cage.
can see that. I can see
He,
that. I mean, his character in WWE is already kind of that arrogant, cocky Johnny Cage esque kind of thing.
yeah.
I can see it. I don't know if he's. I mean, the Miz is not a real fighter. I mean, he's a real world guy that became a wrestler guy. So
True. Right.
I mean, I don't know if he has like any fighting skills. He would have to do probably at least somewhat training, because I feel like all these people in this movie were like pretty good fighters.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially, well, yeah. I mean, especially the main. Too bulky to be Johnny Cage? I don't think so. He's pretty lean. He's not like super chunky.
Right.
But I think with Johnny Cage, it comes down to attitude.
Yeah,
you gotta have that. You gotta have that. Even the original from the original movie, he was okay, but I don't think he was the greatest Johnny Cage. I never liked him too much.
No, I didn't. I like his one move, him like hitting you in the nuts. That was the funny move.
Nutcracker.
But that was about it. I didn't really dig him too much. He didn't Hollywood star. But I mean, so the main character, right, Cole, his involvement in the film is he's a descendant of Scorpion. Scorpion gets he gets killed. His whole family gets killed, and his clan by Sub-Zero. Beginning of the film, we saw that kind of a little bit in the trailer. And so Scorpion gets sent to hell. And so the whole reason why Sub-Zero was doing that was to get rid of the clan or the bloodline of Scorpion, because he's so strong. He's such a great ninja warrior. So he thought he killed
them.
There
was a prophecy, I think, right?
Yeah.
Saying?
Like a prophecy saying that with his blood, it would save Earthrealm, because his bloodline would be part of a crew to save Earthrealm. Some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
Sonya Blade, she was nice. I have no complaints for Sonya. I kind of wish she would have had the move where she blows a kiss with like the pink dust.
Yeah,
it's kind of her signature thing, but they didn't even include that. Yeah. She got rings. She got rings on her.
She really didn't get OP until right at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But she was a badass even without the power. But
she was.
But the actress though, the actress who played her, I thought was really well casted.
I think so too. But pretty much the whole thing is just Shang Tsung wants to eliminate Earthrealm. So before the tournament, this is all before the tournament.
Yeah.
The whole point of Mortal Kombat is it's a tournament between different realms to see who's champion. Whoever's champion of that realm, they get to live peacefully. Outworld is always out to get Earthrealm because they're weak and they don't have strong, combatants. Oh, and this thing, what'd you think about the little tattoo or the marking on them, the dragon marking? I think that was so dumb. It didn't add anything to the movie. You could have taken that out, in my opinion, and you would have had the same movie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it just made the mark made people who was going to be in the tournament, and I was like, that seemed kind of silly. Like you didn't have to have that. Just have like the old school way where Raiden just picked people. But even at the end of this movie, Raiden says, he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna pick new people." I was like, but you didn't pick these people. Like, what the hell are you talking about, man?
They were chosen.
Yeah. The marking replaced the invitation. It did, but also there is no invitation. The invitation comes from Raiden. Was like Raiden picked the people because he was the protector of Earth, but he can't intervene, kind of thing. Eventually, he does. Right. But he picked the people and he brought them to Mortal Kombat. Where this was kind of like you were chosen by the Mortal Kombat gods. I mean, I don't.
And then even with that was conflicting too, because if you didn't have the marking, for example, Sonya, right? She didn't have the marking, right? She wasn't invited by this entity, but yet she still, when she defeats, who did she defeat? She defeated someone.
Kano.
When she defeats Kano, she earns her marking. She earns her marking.
She gets from same thing with Kano. Got it from somebody else. So Kano killed somebody else, and he got it, and then she got it from him. So it kind of like it's kind of like the strongest survive kind of thing. So it's like passed on to like the winner. But he said like it's granted to the special power based on the person. Yeah, which that's the one thing I didn't mind about it was like the marking is like gives you the power, and the power you have these special powers, which was cool because in the game you just randomly have these weird powers. Here they kind of explain why Sub Zero was Sub Zero and why Kano shot laser beams and all this stuff, which I didn't mind that part of it, but I
Mm.
also felt like you could have still had done something different with the marking.
I don't know. I feel like the marking didn't add on too much to when they have to release their like or when they unlock their power, their Arcana power, whatever the fuck they
Yeah,
called the champions on true. It's like winning a championship belt.
yeah,
True, but then how come Cole had a champion marking if he never earned it a day in his life?
yeah.
Just
He
because
never, yeah, he never earned it. It was just in his bloodline.
I
You
can
know,
see that for like the ones that didn't have it, they earn it because they defeated someone with the mark. It's just
yeah.
so conflicting. It's just like I want to get down to the tournament. You know, that's when I think of Mortal Kombat. I think about the tournament. I don't think about how. Oh God,
It was. I like the guy who played. I think you're saying again
Shang
what's his
Tsung,
name? Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung, yeah,
Shang Tsung. He the actor that played him was great. I just thought they his outfit I didn't care too much. The wig was kind of silly. The black eyes came kind of silly, and then he had like weird makeup blackness around his mouth or something too. I was like,
yeah,
I didn't care for that too much. I was like, you should have kept that old school movie where he was just a badass, like
right,
it was passed down from Hanzo. But yeah, I get it was passed down from Hanzo because Hanzo was the original, but also Hanzo had died from Sub Zero, so didn't Hanzo lose the mark?
yeah,
But then it gets passed down to his kid. But it's like, so if Sonya killed Kano, then I'm sure Kano probably has some bastards around the world. Wouldn't one of their kids get it then? So it's a weird concept, but it's a thing where don't think too much into it kind of thing.
yeah, right,
Like
right.
it's there, just deal with it. But it was silly. I thought they could have done either something different where it was like you're not chosen, you're picked because you're a badass kind of thing.
Right. I mean,
So
so like even with the past films and with the lore in general, um, Sonya Blade, Jax Briggs, and Stryker, who was a missing person, I felt like he should have been in the film.
mm.
Stryker, I mean, he ain't shit to be honest, but he's just a cool character, SWAT team looking ass dude. They were on the hunt for the best combatants. In the other
Yeah.
film, they were like, "Hey, we're looking out for Kano. He's an assassin. He's a mercenary that does this and this. He's to, don't fuck with that dude. He needs to be taken out or imprisoned or whatever the fuck." And here, it's
Yeah.
just they kind of picked anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Katana. I'm pretty sure they're. I missed one of her other things. Um, where she said that it's true. It's gonna be 5 movies. So the guy who plays Sub Zero signed on. His contract was for 5 movies.
Mm,
So his contract is for 5 movies. They're saying though, from the rumors and stuff like that it's gonna be a trilogy, and more likely than not, Sub Zero will get a couple spin-off movies. You know, so we'll see.
that could work.
But I
I
wouldn't
mean,
mind. I mean, go MCU with this shit, man. I mean, these guys have a bunch of backstory. I mean, it gets so much more than Outworld versus Earth world or realm. It goes cosmic. Like it goes so
hell yeah,
far crazy. But but
yeah,
yeah,
and
so yeah, so
that's all it
oh,
is. It's just
uh-huh.
Shang Tsung trying to stop
Yeah.
Earthrealm from getting prepared enough for the tournament. He tries to go to their practicing area, which is Raiden's temple. And
Mhm.
while they're like training to fight, he tries to ambush them. He tries to, kill them. But Raiden's like, "Hey, wait! The prophecy says that they need to be alive before the tournament. You can't kill them off before the tournament.
Yeah,
That's
like
against
the
the rules.
rules. Yeah.
There's rules to this, unwritten, but it's there." So he puts like a nice shield to shield him off, and then the one to fuck it up, Kano. Kano gets I
He
don't even
gets
know.
like bribed.
He got and then even then he got bribed by Cabal, which I love Cabal in the film. Like he had such a small role, but he kind of reminded me of Deadpool a little bit, mercenary with the mouth. He has those
Hmm.
little smart, quick, just witty quotes that he'll just say, and he ain't shit, but like he looks strong too. His
Mm,
fight with Liu Kang was a bit weak though, man. I
it
wish.
was. I think though Kano stole the movie. He was
Okay,
he was goofy enough where it didn't like sometimes when they're too goofy, it doesn't go with the film.
yeah,
His style of being the way he was went with the film. I liked that he was like a silly, that obviously he's a bad guy,
right.
and then he flips he flips sides. And I'm like, what are they gonna do? Um, so yeah, Kano was kind of an interesting character.
You,
But yeah, like you said, the fight with him and Liu Kang was kind of like,
I like that
um,
they used his actual moves where like he has that rush little thing that he does. Like kept
yeah,
that true to the original game and whatnot. That was cool.
yeah.
You want to talk about
They got
Jax? His arms.
remember the prophecy was about the Hanzo bloodline, so it makes sense that the sense of that mark. True, but also the same part of it is if you die, then the person that kills you takes that marking. So I'm assuming the baby got the mark after he died, which doesn't make sense because if you get killed, then the marking gets taken away.
Yeah.
So Sub-Zero killed Hanzo, who had the marking, so then therefore it should be gone, but it's not. And I mean, but like this is the thing, we can't think too much into it because like
You just
stuff
start
like
going in
that.
circles.
And it's
Yeah.
also like what, a century? So you're telling me in a century from original Scorpion to Cole that no one killed anybody in that family in that bloodline? So
Right.
um but yeah, like you said, it was like another version of Star Wars, the whole prophecy about Skywalker.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, but I didn't do it.
Sub
Sub-Zero
Zero's
was
already.
already part of this.
He is.
Yeah, I guess like so he can't take the marking again. So I don't know. I don't know.
I had a few. Let's see. What do I have here in my notes? A few things that I didn't like. Was like they kind of stole. I wouldn't say stole, but they borrowed the idea that like, oh snap, kind of like Winter Soldier, right? Homeboy lost his arms, and so
Mm.
you're gonna have some like monks. In this case, monks build up his arms with some high tech like machinery. How did that work out? How do you get
What
monks that don't fuck with technology build him some
honestly,
transformer like
if you saw, they slipped it in really. Like Liu Kang was like, oh, they learned healing and stuff from all different realms. So it was like, okay, they went to like tech realm and fucking learn how to build arms. um
for real, man?
but again, that's another thing, is like you can't think too much into a lot of these like
They hit up.
details. um
I don't know,
but
man. I just like so
they had to
that
do
bothered
that.
me. That bothered me, and then I'm like, okay,
uh,
okay, fine. Let's say the monks are badass at making machinery, right? Fuck it. Um, why did they make some bullshit ass like Terminator One looking arms that had no muscle mass?
yeah, and he's trying to punch and they're like, eh. He's
It's
like
like
tapping the bag.
right. It's like when you're fighting in a dream and your punches have no weight to them and shit. That was
Yeah,
him. And then
yeah,
like the way he released his Arcana special ability was lifting up a rock with those same flimsy ass arms. Like
yeah.
that's
I
one
mean,
thing
that
that
was
kind of
like
bothered
just
me.
the odds of his special power is getting metal arms as he has metal arms.
Like at least in the older films, right? Jax had some special like he was in a lab or something. I forgot kind of what happened, but he was in a lab and there was like scientists working on his arms, the same people that made Cyrax and Sector, whatever his name is, the red
Yeah,
and yellow robot. That made more sense. It was more believable that like
but they were add-ons. They weren't like his arms. Because if you
yeah,
remember, because he only showed up in Annihilation, which was the second one.
second
He
one.
was
Okay,
in the
yeah,
first one, but he just was like for a second, and then in the second one he actually had fighting. And then if
yeah,
you remember at the end, he like rips off his metal
He
ones and
did.
fights like yeah. So it was like it wasn't
Yeah.
his arms. It was just like a mech sleeve, I guess maybe.
Okay.
Um, but so I was like, and this one was like, oh okay, like that. And that was another thing. Was like with the superpowers, like I get it, like to get the over the top crazy kind of fatalities and have these crazy like laser beams and fire dragons and shit.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be a reason, and the reason is like you have the mark, So I'm like, okay, I can play with that, like that's fine.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, what are they gonna do at the end? Did Johnny Cage doesn't have the mark, so is Raiden just gonna make new marks? It was like I don't get it. I don't get it. He goes, oh, I found new warriors. Where the fuck you didn't find them 3 months ago, motherfucker? It was like, what the hell?
Had to put out another Craigslist ad or something. I don't
Yeah,
know,
shit, no shit.
I
Yeah,
swear.
so it was like that was my thing. I was like, oh, but like again, it's Mortal Kombat. It's not like gonna have like flawless kind of plot lines in it.
Right.
It's like Kong versus Godzilla. Over the
Right.
top craziness, funny.
Hmm.
High action. So yeah. What are some things that you wind up liking in the movie?
What I really liked, let's see. Besides Scorpion, anytime Scorpion was on screen, he was doing some dope shit.
Yeah.
Um, I liked Kung Lao's fatality with Nitara, the
Oh,
vampire.
that was
Throws the hat
sick.
down, and it was just like in the game, dude. That shit was
Yeah.
great. Great angle, the splatter, the gore. The fact that the movie was rated R just made it that much more sweeter for
Yeah. Was it? It
OG
was
fans.
rated R.
It was rated R, man. It was
Nice.
rated R. Let's go to the theater. My son, yeah, I had to show my ID and shit like that.
Give permission.
Yeah, but I was glad, that the language in here was like, extreme. It was made for the '90s baby or '80s '90s babies, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, I did like Jax's fatality when he used the arms to like slap
Oh yeah.
someone's head. Who was it? It was
Oh, what was his name? He was a lame character anyway.
yeah, I don't remember. Fuck.
I can't remember. He has that big hammer
Hmm.
kind of thing.
Oh, General Reiko.
There, yeah,
He was whack as fuck too. He had barely any lines, and he's like this big ass general. Like he has a whole storyline that's pretty cool to him too.
yeah, yeah.
But
Rico or something. Yeah,
it's not mainstream, so that's why he looks
yeah.
goofy.
He's not. He was like an expendable character, so
He was, yeah.
that's what they wanted to make sure the bad guys in this
I think
were either like,
yeah,
hmm,
another win was Melina. Melina, the way they
yeah,
did Melina, something different. It wasn't like how I see her in the video game, and it wasn't. I don't know if you've seen the Mortal Kombat Legacy like short series on YouTube. Have you seen that?
oh no, I seen parts of it, but I never seen all of it.
So that series is kind of known for like taking a different turn for the series. So for example, Baraka, right?
Hmm.
The Tarkatan teeth, and he looks all
Yeah,
like monstrous looking. So in the Legacy Mortal Kombat, they brought him in there, but he looked so off. He had like dreadlocks, which I'm okay with dreadlocks, but that's not how Baraka looks like. He has a bald
yeah,
ass head. He looks real goofy with his little getup, and he has,
like sword arms or some shit, right? Like
yeah,
Wolverine type style thing.
yeah, and they come out like that. But in the Legacy film, like he man made those things. He was like a crazy dude. I don't know. They went too like wrong of a turn. But in this one, in the new one that just came out, Melina looked pretty dope, and her like teeth or her mouth that opens up here would like open up when she wanted it to, and
Oh yeah,
like
when
it
she
looked
got like
super
mad.
gruesome. Yeah, that looked pretty cool. But I think that was it. Oh, the final fatality. That was also another real cool one.
Right
Again,
there. But this is
yeah.
that's Baraka from the movie from the was it
Holy
the
shit.
and it's so bad you can see the guy's mouth inside the mouth right there. And
Oof.
then this is the Baraka you're talking about.
Yeah, that looks so dumb, dude. Like what the
Yeah.
fuck? But
So it's like
like I get it. Sometimes you got to go different direction. You don't have to
like
go.
more realistic.
right?
Yeah,
But they did a cool man. She was caked up.
she was.
I will say. Did you see
She
Melina?
was badass.
She had a nice
Huh.
design. Let's just say that. Let's keep it
Well,
PG.
I think that one they kept pretty true to like if I was gonna say comic book, like video game, like
Yeah,
you know I like the things like you said, like when she got really like worked up, it like ripped open her whole mouth.
just looked evil as
um
shit. And man, she
yeah.
treated the fuck out of Sonya when they're having their little
Oh
fight
yeah.
scene, and then like she's about to finish her. She like licks her blood. She's like, "Wait, you're not a champion. You don't have the mark. You ain't shit," and just disappears. Like
That just
man,
takes off.
like it was kind of funny at the moment, but I was like, "Damn, you're not even worth her time." She just dipped on your fight. But yeah, I didn't like Shang Tsung. So he played Shang Tsung well. I feel like he should have lost more weight, or like he looked too plump in the face. Maybe
Yeah, he looked off. He did look
I'm fat
weird.
shaming, but like no, like when I think of Shang Tsung, right? I'm thinking OG ass sorcerer that's real skinny, and I know he's filled with all these souls, right? But that doesn't make
Yeah,
him fat, or that doesn't make him overweight. He should be
yeah.
like, if
That's
anything, oh damn, yeah.
that's the movie video game, but that's like more of a drawing. Um, because I mean, it's a video game, so every video game woman has to have like big old boobies. Um,
Yeah,
and they didn't do this where like they were being held together with strings. They gave her like a chest piece with some like chainmail and stuff like that.
right,
So like I thought her costume was pretty badass. Still purplish too.
right,
She didn't really wear a mask though. She was kind of always just like that. Um,
right.
but yeah, she was badass, man. I like the actress that played her. I thought did pretty well too, and I enjoyed her.
Do you know the
Um,
lore behind Melina Katana a little bit or no?
I not really.
So real quick, Melina is like a clone version of Katana, which is why they're supposed in the video games
Uh,
they look so similar. They use the same character model, even in like Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. They
mhm.
use the same character model, different colors, but yeah, pretty much Katana came first. Actually, now that I think about it, it kind of reminds me of Marvel, the MCU. You know how Thanos kidnapped Gamora and pledged
Mhm.
her as his daughter. That's what Shao Kahn did with Kitana. He kidnapped Kitana,
Yeah.
killed her mom, which was Sindel,
No.
and then kept her as his daughter, and then trained her how to fight and shit like that. They didn't
Yeah.
show too much of that. They didn't show Shao Kahn. Kind of a letdown. But this
They
leaves
showed
room.
pictures though. They had the big statue. They showed picture.
Yeah,
So he's in the universe, and he's definitely going to be in it in number 2 because Shao
okay.
Kahn is OP'd as fuck.
Hell yeah.
Like he's stronger than probably Raiden. And Raiden is a god.
Yeah.
So you
hmm
know, if you think that she was, they had the blood. Yeah, I would think the blood was kind of like a mask. And yes, the clone of Katana, hence why she wears a mask. Yeah, that are features. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't know that about her.
Yeah.
The one thing I know in the new video games though, Sindel is not a good guy. She's not as good as you think she might
She,
have
she
been.
she was killed. So she was killed, and then like pet cemeteried, brought
Yeah,
back
they
to
brought her
life.
back.
And so
Yeah.
and under the when the old I don't know about
Are they
yeah in the
brothers?
old films she was who brothers are who brothers Ole shit I don't know where she's at are who brothers
Is I think I was talking about Shao Kahn and Raiden. I don't
no they're not
I
brothers I
don't
don't think
think
they
so.
are maybe some hidden
I don't
lore I
think
don't
so.
think so you talking about Raiden and Shao Kahn no
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
no Shao Kahn is just like an emperor in Outworld that's all he's
Yeah.
humanized as fuck no no Raid you know what maybe in part 2 I gotta touch back on that, but I
In
want
the
to say
movie maybe. But yeah, I'm looking down here. It says Raiden and Shao Kahn are brothers, and they're like, nah. In no game were they ever established as brothers. In the movie, they might have been. Mother
like
Katana. Yes,
oh
yes,
okay.
in the movies. Yeah, yes, in
Mhm.
the movies. But yeah, no, in the video games, I know Shao Kahn is almost immoral. Because that guy's just like super strong and like lives forever. But I know he can die. I think he does die a few times.
Yeah, he
Um,
does. There's so many directions they can go
yeah,
with Mortal Kombat, man. They can
yeah.
follow the storyline of Melina, Kitana, Shao Kahn. They've already kind of touched on Sub Zero and Scorpion. Oh, Reptile. I was kind of pissed about Reptile,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
He wasn't human form. I mean, he's not always human form, but
No, yeah, he was just a big ass lizard, which I was kind of like, they should have had him transform into it or
put
something.
on the
I don't
ninja
know.
gear or something.
Yeah,
Something. What? Give me a little hint, because a lot of people didn't even know who he was. Who I
yeah.
talked to,
They
they were
could
like,
have. Yeah,
"Go ahead."
they should no. They should have went like old school cloth ninja. With that. And then once he gets stabbed in the back, he kind of like loses focus and becomes the big lizard kind of thing. That would have
Right.
been cool. Then you get a little bit of both worlds.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, he was a little disappointing. He was a cool character. But I think that was like the first fatality of the movie was Kano ripping out his heart.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the first fatality. Fatality.
Yeah. Yeah, I saying
Shit,
so
now we're
Robert saying Khan and Raiden
what
were
the-
brothers in the second movie, and their father was the elder god in the second movie.
Yeah, I just got
Yeah.
confirmation of that too from the
Oh,
wife.
did you?
Yeah, but I don't know,
Yeah.
man. It's such a weird turn for lore. I don't know. I'm glad they
I
didn't go
mean,
that
but
route.
this was staying away from those movies for sure. This
Yeah.
movie, this movie was kind of going game with newer stuff.
Mhm.
I feel like.
Did you have any favorite moments that we haven't mentioned so far?
Um, I one part that like really upset me was how Kung, what's his name? Not Kung Lao. What was it? Kung Lao? Not
There's Kung Lao, Shang
Kung
Tsung.
Lao. Yeah, the guy with the hat, with the Fraser hat.
Yep.
That he died so quick against. I mean, he was so cocky and so of a badass that I
Right.
don't know if he thought he can go toe to toe with him, and then he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna take your soul, bitch." You know.
That was kind
But
of
also, yeah, was another thing was like I did watch somebody talk about it, and they're like, oh, he challenged him, like he challenged Shang what's his name?
Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
I keep on saying Shang-Chi, but it's not Shang-Chi. I think is the Marvel movie or something. The
Oh,
Shang
okay.
Tsung, he had challenged him, and he's like, no, you're beneath me, and send in his minion. And it was like, oh, that's kind of a throwback to the original game that you can't fight him until you go through all his minions first, So I
Right.
was like, so I'm like, I guess. I was like, that was a cool little thing. But yeah, I was kind of upset that he died so quick. I was like, oh, really? Like, he was the most video game accurate person, and he was just like, you know,
Yeah, that's true. So Roberto talks about that
yeah,
Shang Tsung he was a champion himself. He was actually a
yeah,
combatant years past. He won a few times, and then Goro was another big letdown, man. How do you let
yeah,
Goro, who was what is he, winner 9 times in a row, 8 times in a row for this
yeah.
fucking
He's like
tournament,
the champion, the reigning champion.
and he gets beat up by this fucking Backstreet Boy fucking looking dude? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, yeah,
That that was nuts. And I don't know. So you saw Cole Young, right? I know we keep going back to him. His weapon, right? When he released his Arcana power, he got that little gold suit, right?
yeah. Which was
Whatever that
lame,
was,
so
really
fucking
lame.
lame.
And then he had those two hook like I don't even know what you call that. Two hook weapons, right, on his arms.
Yeah.
There's a character that uses those fucking weapons in the game. He's not a big character, but I also thought he was portraying that character. His name is Movado. If you want to look him up,
Okay.
Movado is like he's part of a gang, some gang, and I think China. Let's see, Movado, and he has those hooks that are on his arms. They act like grapple hooks. So like some supernatural shit happens when he uses his power. His hook will like shoot across the room or some shit, or shoot across the
Uh huh.
thing, grab onto the ground, and he can like grapple to that area. That's the way he uses his power. And I thought they were going in that direction, but he's like a nobody. He looks like
So
a
that's
like a
Movado.
washed up Blade character or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it kind of does. I got more of the sense of like Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade kind of thing with the because one was like a baton and one was a blade.
Mm,
Um,
that's
right?
true.
If I
Yeah, yeah,
remember.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and then he beat Goro, so I'm like, oh, they're just replacing Johnny Cage altogether with Cole Young, which I was like, okay, I guess, you know, I don't know if
Close.
you had to make a brand new character. That was my whole thing. It was like, did you really need to make a brand new character?
They didn't have to.
But
Oh, but
yeah,
Roberto's right.
uh, reminds me of Black Panther absorbs the hits. Yeah, no, that was a complete just rip off. I think of it. It was just like takes the hits and then blows it black. And that's the only way somebody like that could beat Goro.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I said, it was a really letdown of Goro. Was like you didn't even show, at least in the original movie, you showed him being a badass. Like in this one, he's one and done, and I'm like, what?
He got
You
one of
know,
his hands cut off. You have three other hands, homeboy. What the fuck did you cry about that one hand that got cut off?
seriously.
You got three other arms. Oh no, not the one hand. Fuck out of here, Goro. Yeah, it was some conflicting parts of the story. Like, let me see. Um,
Oh no,
they could
Striker, who I was thinking about.
Striker. Oh, Striker. He's
Striker uses the batons, and that's who I was kind of thinking. I'm like, oh, it's Cole Young Striker.
oh, okay, okay.
You know, that's who I was kind of thinking. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't really. I liked everyone else except for the brand new character that they made for the movie. I thought was like I didn't really care for Cole that much.
Yeah,
And my only thing was like, unless, like you said, I was really, really hoping he would have become Scorpion.
right,
That would have been fucking badass. That would have been super, super cool. Where cool Hanzo went through hell and learned how to use hellfire and all that shit, but
right,
then he gives it to his bloodline. He's like, here, now this power is yours.
right. That would have been
That would have been fucking badass because now you got a new Scorpion, and that would have been cool. But I guess I don't know, they didn't use Scorpion enough. He was in two scenes in the entire movie, the beginning and the end. That was it. I was
yeah,
like, what? He was such a badass. Like so they OP'd Sub-Zero. I felt like Sub-Zero was way OP'd,
yeah.
way OP'd. So I don't know. Besides that, I didn't mind much. I enjoyed it. A
Did you get
lot.
lost? Did you get lost in the film? Did you know you were watching a film, or were you like actually invested in the story and whatnot?
I wasn't invested in it. It was a good action. High action, very goofy. When fatalities started happening, I thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
Sonya did her shot through the midsection, but the spine stayed there. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any damn sense at all. Why a spine but everything else makes a perfect
Exactly
circle.
intact. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that wasn't mine. The one thing no one pulled out anybody's spine, right?
Oh, Goro talked about it. Goro says
Did he?
to Cole, he's like, and now I rip your head from your spine from your body. He mentioned it. He touched on it, and then
Yeah.
Cole was like, no, no, and then he just flips out and whoops his ass.
When
Like, I don't know.
like Andy said, the movie was good, but the storyline didn't line up. Yeah, kind of same. I mean, but like I know we said earlier, like you're not watching this for the perfect flawless storyline kind of thing. It's like here's a bunch of action that's loosely. I mean, it's a little bit more than loosely, but like I said, I know Roberto is going after us a lot with the marking. I had a lot of issues with the marking. I agree with you, Will. It should have replaced it with something else.
And if they wanted to use the marking, I'd be cool with it, but like do something more else with the marking besides just naming a champion or giving that as Roberto said as like a championship belt. Like
Yeah.
if you would have like used the
Everyone
mark
should be born with it. Everyone should be born. As soon as you're born, you were born to be in Mortal Kombat. Like kind
chosen
of
the
thing.
first. Okay. I
Because then Sonya, I don't like that she killed Kano.
mhm.
I'm like, oh, why? Why you gotta kill him? Like what?
She's
You
always
know,
chasing after him. That's the whole thing. That's their whole gimmick is Sonya's always
yeah,
chasing after Kano. He's always
yeah,
like fucking with her and getting her into trouble. And then he dips. He doesn't die.
yeah. Yeah, I feel like you could have still connected them without the mark. You know, do what the old movie did. Like, oh, he killed her partner or something, whatever it was, something along those lines. You can
Right.
still do that. You know, I have no problem with that. You know, like, oh, he killed my husband. I'll just pick something. I don't fucking know. Like, you could have connected them. You know, except she had no idea who he was, except for he had the marking. I was like, really? That's like Wolverine and Sabretooth not knowing each other in the first X Men. Like, dude, I lost my shit. I'm like, I'm done with this fucking series. Like, one of my favorite characters doesn't know his arch enemy. Are you kidding me? You know,
Right.
so there's little things like that. It's kind of like I'm like, but yeah, I think everyone should just be born with it. As soon as you were born to be in Mortal Kombat kind of thing. So you're like everyone should be born with the mark. That would
Right.
make more sense. In the old movies, they still had the invitation. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, let me put that up. Yeah, they had the invitation. They all had their little what was it? They get a scroll or something like that.
Hmm.
Something like that. I don't know. I wouldn't mind.
I guess
But
what's
even this, but this wasn't even Mortal Kombat. So there wouldn't be, even if they did invitations, there wouldn't need to be a need for an invitation because this is before the actual tournament itself.
right? We didn't get a tournament yet.
Um,
We did not get a tournament.
yeah, Johnny was invited. Sonya was tricked into going. Yeah, she was tricked into going from Kano, right? Because Kano led her onto the boat,
Yep.
and then what's his name said no more fighting, like kind of thing. Also, one thing me and Fredo were talking about last week was different people who were supposed to be casted. You know who was supposed to play original Sonya in 95, whatever it was? It
No.
was
Who was it?
Cameron Diaz who was supposed to
No
play Sonya
way.
originally. Yeah.
Cameron
And
Diaz, an ex
she was
porn actress.
filming yeah, she was filming The Mask. So
Oh.
she didn't have the time for it. So they brought in the other chick from Billy Madison. You know, she was
Mhm.
stuff like that. Which I thought she was perfect. I thought I'm like, yeah, she was better. I think she would have been better than Cameron Diaz.
I think she's my favorite Sonya thus far. Even with like the Mortal Kombat Legacy YouTube stuff, I think
Hmm.
one from the first one, she's been killing it. She's the best one that I. She's who I imagine as Sonya when I like think of her.
Yeah, it was
Her
like
whole
all
like,
long hair and all militaried out. This one, I liked her. I like this one a lot though too. I didn't mind her. She was a badass. She was a badass. I liked her. Yeah, Kano killed her partner in the original. Yeah, just do that. You know, then she has a more of a reason to beat Kano rather than like you have the marking that you don't deserve. I was like, yeah, I don't know, because they need. Well, they can't. They just need to explain how these people get superpowers. You know,
yeah.
it was the marking. I'm like, okay, I don't know, I don't know. But like I said, it's not. It didn't take me out of the movie. I wasn't like, well, that doesn't make sense. You know, but
Um,
whatever.
who do
Um,
you wish they would have brought in that wasn't in the film, or they would have showed more on screen? Who do you think should have been?
well, definitely Scorpion. Um, because that opening scene just like was really good. The final battle was really good.
Mm.
It's definitely Scorpion.
I really
Some
wish Reptile. Reptile is kind of Shang Tsung's right hand man as well.
yeah,
He
his
should
little
have.
goon. Yeah,
I feel like he should.
Goro. I mean, I feel like Goro didn't have a good
Mhm.
outing.
I should bring up the character list. Where the fuck is the character list?
I know, right?
um, there's a few more that I wish. Let's see, Drummond, Suhao, Dagon. A lot of made up characters from like Mortal Kombat 5 through 9. I don't really care about them, but I would have loved to see like Kenshi, even though he doesn't fit into like the main storyline. Do you know who Kenshi is?
I don't think so.
Kenshi is a blind swordsman, blind ninja. It's just cool to have
Oh,
a
okay.
blind character.
Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
know what you're talking about.
who else? Who else is really like big that Kano, Drama, Goro, Johnny Cage. Yeah, well, we're gonna get him next film. That's where, if you haven't
Yeah.
watched the film yet, spoiler alert, the next film is gonna take place in Los Angeles. So Cole, for whatever reason, like how we talked about earlier, Raiden mentioned, oh, there's a new list of commands that need to be, stalked and made sure they get trained. So Johnny Cage is one of those guys. Cole's gonna go scout for him and see if they can bring him into the mix. Katana is another person that she has big main character vibes. She was not in the film. Um,
Yeah.
Shiva, nah, Shiva ain't shit. She's the female chick with like four arms. Quan
Oh
Chi,
yeah.
Quan Chi is another. You know Quan Chi, bald sorcerer. He's not really like he was a main character in Mortal Kombat 5, Deception,
Yeah.
where Shang Tsung and Quan Chi team up to kill Liu Kang. That was nuts, man.
Oh really? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean those characters they're gonna get into later. Like I feel if they go past, I think they have a plan for 1, 2, and 3, which one already came out, and I think they have some plans for like spin-offs. But I
yeah,
think once number 3 comes out, then I think they can feel how the crowd is going and make a decision on like do they go even more like in depth, you know. But I think they got to make Liu Kang the main character. It just it you know, I was like, I don't know. I didn't like Cole that much.
no,
Not that he's a bad actor or anything.
no,
I think
yeah.
it was just pointless to have him, you know.
He was just a filler role. I think that's what it was. He was a filler role to make you believe the rest of the
Agree.
storyline. And
Yeah.
like I know someone can make the argument that if you take Cole out of the film, right, then how much more believability does the film have? Not too much, because then now it's just basically going off just like actual lore and not actually like credibility of oh man if my great 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 grandfather died I need to get
Yeah.
revenge for him like that.
Also, Raiden was kind of didn't do much in the movie.
He was a bit lackluster, right?
You know, he didn't really gather anybody. He had Liu Kang kind of do it, and everyone else just kind of came to him. You know, and it was like he didn't really. Yeah, it was kind of like just blah. I was like, dude, you're a freaking the God of Thunder. Like, what? I know you can't fight, but I was like, you didn't. He
His
didn't
first,
guide the team at all. You know what I mean? Like he
all
just talked a lot of shit, and then that was it.
that's all he did was talk shit.
Yeah,
He was like, hey, you ain't shit, you ain't shit, you ain't shit, peace, good luck guys, and that's all he did.
yeah, yeah, dude. Seriously, seriously, yeah.
Like,
So hopefully next one he gets a little more.
right, I want to see, oh man, I want to see, now that I think about it, man, I want to see Raiden fight. Raiden, is, in my opinion, is like
For
the
sure.
Yoda of Star Wars or of Mortal Kombat. He's just like he's old as hell and he's a god and whatnot. You would think he can't fuck with moves like that, but I want to see that fucking move where he like storms across the screen and shit. That's like
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
That
that's the thing. Like Raiden was always about like you got to follow the rules, and then here's like he didn't really care. He's like, no, you can't do that. He goes, bitch, I'm doing it. Okay, you know, it was like what? It's like what the hell,
he
man?
came down to intervene the one time, right? And so when Kano took down the force field, he didn't come back.
Yeah, I know.
You're not gonna check back on your force field, my guy.
Yeah,
Raiden's fucking up.
yeah. So I do. And in the video game, I forgot what video game he goes to like the elder gods and is like, hey. Y'all being lazy sons of bitches, you
Yep.
need to do something about this cheating. I forgot what number he did it, but
That was like
he
six.
pretty much said the gods are useless. I mean, because they're too lazy to do anything.
They
You
never
know,
leave their little like
a little
little
throne
throne
cloud or
room.
whatever the hell. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. They
you
don't.
know,
He's the only one that comes down.
yeah. He didn't gather the fighters. He didn't go after after or who you're talking about after he killed the champion
Hmm.
um Shang Tsung.
Yeah, if I felt like I
Yeah,
would have been left on a better note if I would have seen Raiden fight. God of
a
Thunder, you
little bit
got to
more.
show that up. Give me a taste of that.
Yeah,
Give me a taste.
because even
Raiden.
in the original movie, he didn't fight. You know, like because he can't.
Hmm.
But he showed off his powers where he's like, hey, don't mess with me, kind of thing, you know. And people like feared him, you know. Still, you
Right.
know, this one, no one gave a shit. They're like, cool, like, okay, you know, like the bad guys were like, oh, whatever. Like no one was afraid of him.
Right. No one. Like when I hear Raiden, right? Even in the first ones, the older OG films, they were like, "Oh, Raiden, the God of Thunder!" Like they were like so, like wowed by him. And here, they're like, "Oh, this guy? Ah, okay."
Yeah,
So
like,
keep
oh, this is the guy. Yeah,
He's only a
He
god.
had to denounce the god. Yeah, so he stops being a god and becomes
And
mortal
that's
to
right. And the other
to
one,
fight. Yeah,
that's when he
yeah.
fought.
And the second one in the movie, I don't know in the video games. I'm not too sure. I don't remember because he always fought in the video games,
He
even
did.
number one. So, but the video game that was never meant to have like lore like this. They
It
definitely
was
started like started making lore. As they're like, oh, okay, this is gonna be a thing. Let's make some backstories.
that. I
Um,
feel like that's how a lot of Mortal Kombat lore came to life. So, for example, right, some of the characters that we have today came from just rumors. For example, right,
mm,
the character. There's a character named Blaze. He's literally just a guy on fire,
yeah.
and he was in the background of one of the arenas that you would fight in Mortal Kombat 1 or 2 or something like that, or 3 even. And then
Hmm.
like years later in Mortal Kombat, I think 6 or 7, he's the final boss you got to beat and shit like that. You know,
Oh no shit. Okay.
and he came from a rumor. Also, Fujin, he's like the god of wind.
Fujin. Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to be a playable character ever, but someone was like, "Hey, if you notice, in this detail of the artwork, in the loading screen, it looks like it's Fujin or something like that." And the Mortal Kombat team was like, "What? What are you talking about? I don't see shit. Fuck it, let's invite him. Yeah,
Like
he's in the
cool.
game too now. As soon as you get a fan base, they like to feed into that.
Yeah.
I mean, it does good
Yeah.
for numbers, merchandise, and all that.
Yeah. And I think yeah. I mean, you're kind of listening to your fans and what they want. They're like, oh, you like that guy? Boom, he's in the game. It's like,
Mhm.
and especially with a game like Mortal Kombat, you could do that. And then I don't know, like, you can make a good movie. Like, and this one showed
Yep.
you can make a good movie. It's not gonna like break any records or anything crazy, but it's
Right.
gonna be a good movie. People are gonna go see it, and it's gonna be fun. And that's what I thought this one was. Usually my girlfriend is not into a lot of these kind of silly action movies. She enjoyed it a lot. I put it on and I'm
Mm.
thinking like she's gonna go like, on her computer and watch YouTube or something else, like
Right.
she wound up watching it all and she's like, oh, I like that. I'm like, okay, yeah,
She
it was
she
a
watched
fun
it with
movie.
you? She watched
Yeah,
it the whole
yeah,
time with you? Nice.
yeah, yeah. So, you know, but I think we're in a weird action because I know we didn't do Nobody last week, but we
Yeah.
watched Nobody, and I don't know if you watched it yet. Oh, I love that movie. One of
So
the best movies that come out this year. Like it was just a silly John Wick. I loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. And this was a very good um dessert to that movie. Was like, cool, you
yeah,
liked all this crazy action? Well, here's some even more stupid, silly action, where people ripping hearts out and shit. So
I only
it
caught the,
was it,
the,
it
the
just
very
went well.
beginning of Nobody. I finally got something to work to watch the film, and holy shit, like he is pretty silly. That first comment he makes when like he's getting interrogated or something, they're like, "All right, so who are
Yeah.
you?" He's like, "I'm nobody."
Yeah.
So nonchalant, funny as hell.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
I gotta watch that.
probably, I gotta say, it's probably my favorite movie of the year so far.
Damn.
So
Yeah, yeah.
far, it was awesome. I did love it. But this one, but this thing, it was like really weird, high action John Wick style, and this one was like not as realistic kind of stuff, but still like, I don't know how to say it, but it was like high action, goofy brains being pulled out and people being sliced in half. It was a good flow of like last week to this week kind of box office
Right.
movies. It was just with that. But yeah, we'll start ending it up pretty soon. So
Yeah, yeah.
what would you give this one? We need to
So
come up with a good rating system. So if anybody's watching, if you got a good rating system besides just like out of 5 or something like that, I want to do something a little bit more fun.
yeah,
But yeah,
definitely leave ideas
for
in the
now,
comments.
yeah,
We'd appreciate
for
it.
now we'll just do out of 5 stars.
Out of 5 stars, would you watch it in theater or is it something you watch at home streaming? So for me, right, I
Mm,
give this movie a rating of out of 5 stars. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a solid 3.5, almost a 4. Only for the fact that nostalgia is always a nice thing.
Yeah.
to kind of put into a film to make your fans, feel the light again of what they once felt once before. They kind of gave me that, right? So they included some of my favorite characters in the film. They showed off some cool fatalities. Definitely a lot of loopholes and a lot of a lot of conflicting pieces to the story,
Yeah.
but not enough to throw me away and not be invested in the film. I was pretty
Yeah.
invested. Out of 10, I would probably give it a 7. I'd give it a
Yeah,
7 too.
7 out of 10 is
Uh,
about the same as 3.5 out of 10. It's about
yeah, right.
in that same realm. Um, but I'm there with you. Is the so Robert is given. I give it a 3 only because they sort of kill the storyline. Yeah, I'm there around the same, and a 4.5 for the fighting scenes. Yeah, the fighting scenes were awesome. They were really good. Some of them were really short, which kind of like I'm like, oh, really,
Yeah.
But overall, I got to give it around a 3.5 as well
Mm, okay.
because it was fun. The bad things didn't weren't so bad that it took me out of the movie. I was still like, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I can overlook that because I know somebody's gonna get their heart ripped out, So
Right.
cool, whatever. And it wasn't like that big of a deal. So yeah, 3.5 is around where I was at too. You know, 4.5 for the fighting scenes. I mean, the fighting is what really elevated this movie for me, was stuff like that. And then I did like the casting. I thought
Hmm.
pretty much all the casting was pretty spot on. I enjoyed all the people who for everyone. Jack, Sonya, Kano, all of them were just really, really good. And even Sub Zero and Scorpion, I thought were really good. I'm like, yes, they're old Japanese, like like fighter samurai ninja guys, and
Right.
like it should be, And then they kept it that way, and I'm like, yes.
Good.
So I didn't mind that too much, or at all. I didn't mind it at all. I enjoyed that they did stuff like that. But yeah, 3.5 is where I'm at too.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
So I know you went to the movies. I think if COVID wasn't happening and stuff like that, I probably would have went to the movies to see it. And not be disappointed. I would have went to the movies and been happy I went to the movies to see it. Um, Real quick before we end this, my biggest letdown and disappointment was I didn't get the screaming Mortal Kombat.
Oh, the
I
soundtrack.
was so mad. I like the new song that they did.
That's
I
alright.
wanted somebody to yell Mortal Kombat like in the original one in the video games. That is the best part of the song. I mean, the song itself is really awesome. I like the new version they did a
Yeah.
lot. I'm like, okay, but I wanted to hear somebody screaming like Mortal Kombat. Like, oh,
Damn, that
come
was a
on,
missing piece. I kind of forgot about that. Pretty
yeah,
big letdown. Damn, I didn't think about that. I feel like the music also kind of makes these fighting scenes super badass. A
mm,
little bit of a letdown for me. Although the dubstep kind of electro dance kind of version is pretty cool, but yeah,
yeah,
I forgot about the yelling Mortal Kombat piece.
yeah.
Damn.
Let me
I
see if I
mean,
can.
hopefully they can put it in part two. Somebody who would yell it? Who do you think would yell Mortal Kombat?
Oh, keep it old school, man. Keep it old school,
Who,
dude. That's what we're missing, man.
who yells it in the first one? In the old school one?
I don't remember.
I
I
don't think
don't
there's a
remember.
person that like is announced to yell that, but I feel like we should have somebody yell that out. Who would yell it out? I don't know. I'd
I don't
probably
know.
give it. It'd have to be a guy. I don't know if a woman screaming Mortal Kombat is like. That sounds so sexist. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry,
no
but
one in
like,
particular. Yeah. No, you know what? Just in the crowd, somebody in the crowd just scream it really loud, and that's all you need. Echo kind of thing. I mean, that's all it is. Just like come on, man. I
you know
was
what you
so mad.
You know what you could do to bring that in and have it as a nice little Easter egg? Let's say the tournament comes about, right, for part two. And in
Yeah.
this tournament, I don't know why, but in the old school like arenas and whatnot, you'd have a little audience of monks and
Yeah.
shit like that. What if you got one of those guys to yell it out?
Yeah. Exactly, man. Exactly.
Yell it exactly with that tone, that the same exact.
Yeah, like everything would be like serious. Kind of two guys, like Scorpion and Sub Zero ready to fight. It's the first tournament, first fight in the tournament, and then
Very, very
somebody like,
formal, all formal and
they're just
shit.
like
Like,
getting ready, and it's super quiet, and you just hear somebody scream it, and then the whole place erupts, and then they start fighting. I was like, yes,
that would be it.
come
That'd be the
on,
way to go.
man, right there. Come on, who is it? Warner
One
Brothers.
brother
We're giving you that one, man. That's an idea.
for free,
Everyone will love it for free.
for real, man.
But I guess technically this wasn't Mortal Kombat, the actual tournament. So I don't know,
Right.
but I want to hear it. I was so mad. The music, I love the new music. Wanted to hear it. They even like put the "Test Your Might" in there, in the
They
in
did.
the song. But I'm like, they had Mortal Kombat, like somebody say it, but it didn't. It wasn't like that. And I remember going to the theater in '95, sitting down. And you're like getting ready to like hear the the screen turns black and you're like, and you're turning around, you're like, what the fuck? And then the music plays and you're like, oh, you just loved it. I was like, dude, I think that was like one of the best parts because I remember, and then you had the surround sound and you hear it and it sounds like it's coming from behind you. And I remember when that happened, I turned around, I'm like, did somebody just walk in the theater and scream it? Because it just was so good. And then the music plays and it's like, I was like, oh, the flames coming at you. I was like, yes.
Techno.
Loved it, man. Yeah, dude.
Techno was like newish, right? Techno was just jumping off.
95? Yeah, that was
man. It's
techno
like
scene kind of thing. But all right, man. We've been going for a while. Yeah, so we gave our reviews. We both liked it. Go watch it. It's on HBO Max in the theaters. But yeah, man. So if they want to catch you, Will, anywhere, where can they catch you at?
You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch. You can find me with DWJ BBF Studios. Oh, I said it.
There you go.
Every Monday you can catch our movie reviews. And anywhere you want to find me, you're gonna see it on screen. Peppa MD. Peppa MD is my user handle for everything. But we have a whole schedule of amazing content from our boys at studios.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put all your stuff in the description on YouTube. Facebook is not too good with hyperlinks, but it's gonna be there. So if you want to follow them on TikTok and all those good places, YouTube, go on there. But yeah, so Mondays we're gonna be here doing this as often as possible. Tuesdays we got Fredo and Brian, the Panda and Grizzly show. They talk about Bears only news. Wednesday is the Dynasty Pylon with Martin and Mark. They do Dynasty IDP football. Thursdays, we have Did We Just Become Best Friends podcast. And Sundays, the Morning Spike, which is all about football. This Thursday, I think we're doing a live round one of the NFL draft. So we're going to do a stream watch party with that. Should be pretty cool. And I believe Friday, we're moving our this week's podcast from Thursday to Friday, and we're going to do a little of the Oscars, probably not too much, but we're going to do Falcon and Winter Soldier breakdown, and I cannot wait to talk about that. But yeah, so yeah, thank you, Anna, for liking the stream. So if you want to join in, and a few other guys want to join in and talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier, we're gonna do that this Friday, like a little thing like that. Thanks, Fredo, for liking the stream.
So much. Yeah, thank you. We appreciate all the likes. We appreciate when you press that share button to all your friends about this. And then who knows, if you join us every week, you can actually join the stream yourselves if you like. That'd be something cool, right?
Yeah. Always hit the comments, and yeah, we'll like talking about everybody or with anybody about whatever movie. Next week, I don't remember what's coming out next week. I'm having a brain fart. I believe it is the Tom Clancy movie with Michael B. Jordan, Without Remorse, I think it's called.
Okay.
That one's gonna be pretty awesome.
Look forward to that.
Nice, another action, spy kind of thing. So it will fit well with the crazy action Falcon Winter Soldier kind of vibe everyone's going with right now. So that'd be good. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in this week for the movie review podcast. If you guys have any potential names for us, we're trying to name it from the movie review. There's something a little bit more funny, more relevant to what we do. Please leave it in the comments. If you have a rating system you would like us to use besides out of 5 stars, let us know too, man. We're open for all the kind of ideas for stuff like that. But thank you guys, and we'll see you guys on next week.
Nice.